everyone, welcome to another episode of Real Deal Fishing. My name is Josh. I'm sitting here at Southern Marine Outfitters today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Hawg Trough. As many tournament anglers know, you have two options when it comes to your measuring device in tournaments. The first is the Hawg Trough, and the second option is the catch board. Catch boards come engraved, lined already, and don't require lining. However, the Hawg Troughs come in a lined format or an unlined format. You either have to line them yourself or you have to clean them up and reline them over time after use and wear. In the case of this Hawg Trough has seen many fish, and because it's seen so many fish, it's actually due to be remarked. And that's what I'm going to cover here today. As far as cleaning the Hawg Trough is concerned, there's basically two major products that I'm going to use. I'm going to use nail polish remover or denatured alcohol, and I just took a little bit of it and put it in a container here. I got cotton balls, some Q-tips, and some paper towel, and basically all I'm going to do is dip my cotton ball in my nail polish remover a little bit, and I'm going to basically work it on the lines and try and clean some of those areas up. Now, you're not going to be able to get all the black marks off the Hawg Trough itself, but I want to get as much off there as possible. Now, what you haven't seen is that prior to this video, I spent some time actually cleaning this up, and you can see a section of the board that's actually marked pretty well, and a section of the board where I've basically been kind of scrubbing it away, and you can see how much of the black has and has not come off. And as that black sits there for a while, some spots can be really stingy to get off, especially because the bumps help prevent from getting actually down in the groove where you've actually marked the board itself. Now, I've taken scrub brushes and toothbrushes and other devices to the board. It doesn't really change too much. When it comes down to it, we basically have to still clean up as much as we can and then go forward with remarking the board. I'm going to go ahead and jump into marking the board. When it comes to marking the board, there's a few things that I like to talk about. One is that your marker. Make sure your marker is a fine point permanent marker. The reason why we want it to be a fine point is we want that brand new fine point for the marking purpose. Okay. When we start off by marking our Hawg Trough, the first thing that I like to do is to mark the crease. Okay. I put a good line down the crease. Okay. The reason why we're putting a line down the crease is so that it's easier for the judges to tell that a fish's nose has crossed that line, which helps indicate that the fish's nose is up against the bump board. The other thing that I like to do is I like to color the end of my board, okay? And I'm going to come back and do that more in a little bit. I'd rather do that with when the marker is a little more worn, just because if I ruin my fine point, it'll make marking my lines more difficult, so I'll come back and do that more towards the end. Now, as far as marking my lines is concerned, there's a little bit of controversy when it comes to marking lines. In the past, the guys used to take the marker and they used to lay it on the side, and they used to just get the very, very top of the line. Okay, and what that did is it made this very, very fine line on the actual line itself. And yes, did they mark the top of the line? Yes. Did that marker wear out? Absolutely. However, over the years, there's been a little bit of change to the marking process. And one of the easiest things to do is to take your marker, and we want to come to the side of the line, okay? And we want to press firmly, cleanly, and in one swoop come through the line itself. Now, what this has done is created a nice, clean, crisp line. Now, this fine point marker, when it pushes up against the line, it's getting the top, the actual center top of that line, as it comes along the line itself. And basically, we will repeat that process through the extent of the board. Okay, and make sure we mark every line in its entirety. Okay, if we have to go back over an individual line, we go back over an individual line. We want to make sure that our lines are not too thick, and we want to make sure that our lines are definitely not passing the top center of the line itself. Okay, and as you can see, as I've marked through 8 to 9, you can see how my lines are really, really defined. I've been marking this way for the last year and a half. My boards have been tournament approved by BASS, by KBF, so I haven't had any problems with this marking style. I assume that in the future we may see some differences in board designs and board styles as they try to further refine the process and make our life a little bit easier, but for now this is the process. So I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to finish marking this board, and I'll show you the finished product here in a moment. Alright, you guys, welcome back. Taking a look at the board here, you can see that my lines are very, very clean and well defined now. This is the point in time where I actually start to concentrate on my numbers. And the numbers are relatively simple. We just basically glance over the top of the numbers just to make the numbers stand out. Now, if you've got a section of your board like I do right here, where the line is just kind of faded and you need to touch it up, you can come back in with the marker and just come over top of it and clean it up. One nice fell swoop, just like we did in the beginning. And that'll help clean up those lines and make them dark again and more robust. Just note that, like, when you get a lot of slime on your board, for instance, that slime, you want to get as much of that slime off as possible, because that's where the slime is going to eat into some of the coloring and just wear it out over time. Okay, I'll come back to you in a moment when I'm finished marking my numbers. Okay, everyone, welcome back. As you can see, I finished my numbers. One thing that I want to stress is that when you come through and you're marking your lines, make sure that you're holding your pen at this angle up against the line. That's very critical. The reason why we're holding at that line and at that angle is just so that we get the very top of the line and nothing more. If you cross the line itself with the marker or come at it from this angle, you're actually marking in front of the line itself, and those fish and those boards will be disqualified. So just keep that in mind. So getting back to the board's looking pretty good. Like I stated earlier, I like to color my end. Some people put stickers on the end, and that's okay. That's an option that people have and something that they're very welcome to do. A lot of people put stickers on the end. I've just never been a fan of having a sticker on the end. At some point in time, I'll either get there or I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I guess it depends on what kind of board I got. In my instance, I sit here and color this in with the black marker, and the main reason for that is so that when the nose of the fish is up against the black marker, they can actually tell that the nose is touching the front of the board. Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, my board is pretty much complete. As you can see, I finished marking out the actual bump itself. I've cleaned up the interior of the board and redid the lines. If I feel that any of these lines need touch-up, I can just add touch-up really quickly to them, okay, and make them dark again. I appreciate your time and watching this video, especially if you made it this far. Cleaning up your board and remarking your board can be a very, very tedious process, and I know that some people have some different ways of handling it, but at the end of the day, the most simple way to do it is basically the way that I just showed you, and it's the easiest way to prevent yourself from having a board get DQ'd when you come to a tournament. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Past that, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for your time today. This is Real Deal Fishing. Keep it real.